What's up? Oh, yeah. Yeah, to get something, so now I'm back. So, all right. So here I am again talking about stuff. You know what I mean? Um, let's see. Well, I got a few things to kind of talk about anyway. So, first thing I want to say is big up to my man David Jennings in Ireland, who just finished a promotional poster of my star, Sophia Hayden, played by Daphne Bless-Avro. So it's out there. I put it everywhere. I think he did a bang up job. It really kind of hits what the story is about. So if you ever need someone to do a poster, you need an artist to kind of really have a vision, a really good vision, check out David Jennings. Look at my page, check him out. He's banging. He's banging. It's no joke. So I want to say thank you, David. You did a bang up job, brother. So it looks awesome. Had so much detail in there. For what you see online, you'll see, I mean, it looks amazing, but there's so much detail in it that you really have to zoom in. Like, for example, on the building, and if you zoom in on the building, you start seeing the vines that are running up the building that are on fire with embers falling out from them. You know, you'll see like on the left side where you see one of the soldiers throwing out some magic out of her hands, but behind her you see like a forest, but below the forest you see the fire, but it looks like a ditch. So there's like a hill, but that whole hill is like on fire. So you see the fire coming from like the ditches, but you see how tall the trees are coming from the ditch. So there's a lot of little elements in there. You just have to kind of go in there and look at it closely. But when I blow it up this big, I'm actually going to start selling it, put it out there, let them know if you want a autograph picture from Dave or you want an autograph poster from Daphne, let me know. That's not a problem. We can make arrangements. I'm going to start putting it out there later on. But right now, if you want one, let me know. We can make that happen for a nice low rate. So let me know what's up. All right. So also, I made an announcement early in the week about my film festival that I'm actually going to start creating. I'm in, like I said, the beginning stages of doing a fantasy, sci-fi, action thriller film festival. And so right now I'm in just the beginning stages of going out there, just mingling, trying to get a place to do it, looking at all the theaters, all the places where I would like to have it, the after party, who's going to do it, who's going to promote it. Over here, just kind of interviewing and going over partner people who could be my partner on this, because I interview everybody, so I need not just anybody to be in here. I need somebody that actually has the vision, I actually can see where I'm going, and actually maybe can even see more to kind of give me some ideas too. So that whole hunt is in effect right now. It's going to be a really badass film festival. I can promise you that. I don't want to go to a film festival where it looks like it's someone's backyard. I want to go to a film festival where artists like myself can go there and feel proud of their work. Artists to me are important because I'm one myself, but I understand how hard it is to do anything that we do all the time, all the sacrifices that we do to bring you anything from us, so we can put out to the public for people to enjoy. I know how much how much time is put into it, and the heartache and the financial stress it puts on you. So the least I can do is that, if you're going to give me a little money to kind of, look at your movie and not pick you to be on there, you're going to feel proud. I want you to feel proud about where your movie's being shown, how you're being represented, and very, very important, who's going to be there. I do not want you to go to my film festival, wake up the next day and be in the same place. I'm going to give you there's going to be opportunities there from aggregators, sales agents, people you can speak to kind of help you move along on your venture. Put your movie online, on a streaming service, maybe even go ahead and finance it to bring it to the next level, to maybe even give it a bigger distribution strength. So I'm going to do my best that when you come to my film festival, when you get there, it's going to feel like this is worth going. This is worth paying for. This is worth attending, and you can see all the care that's going to go into it. which is why I'm looking at the film festival to be in 2021. It's going to take time to bring it to the level that I want it to be. There's a lot of festivals out there. There's 6,000 festivals in this country. It's a lot of film festivals. But like anything else, there's only a few that do it right. And I want to be that few. So my job and my goal is to make sure that when you come to my film festival, you're not only going to want to, of course, see your show in the theater, in the big screen, with your crew, with your family, but it's going to be other events there that you can attend. Say, even if you don't get selected, you probably still would want to come. Now, I know I did. Sometimes they, well, I'm not selected, well, I'm going to go. But you know what? It's going to be so many things that you can win, so many people you can meet, you know? I mean, it's going to be people there that you can actually speak with, you know, that are in the industry. There's going to be producers. There's going to be theater owners. I'm bringing all that in there, man. There's going to be, I'm going to do my best to even bring in virtual reality, you know, get a section where there's someone about virtual reality there that can help you incorporate that within your production somehow. And that's going to be cool because that's the future. You already see that. So I want to put that in there too. There's going to be other things too that I can't really say yet. You know, I want it to be a surprise. But those are the few things that are definitely going to be in my film festival, because it's going to be more than just showing the movies, which is, you know, the main thing, is the main theme, you know. But there's going to be other things there, other events that you can actually sink your teeth into, even if after, say, you know, you win an award, you know, that's great. But you know what? I want you to speak to the crowd. I want people to ask their questions. You know, of course, you know, I'm going to have people who win do like a round table, you know, have them speak to people who are interested in getting into the industry, people who are maybe already into it, maybe want to ask you questions, or it's even just want to meet you, you know, just want to meet the winners and stuff like that. You know, let them have their fame, let them have their time. We all want our time. We want to explain maybe a little more about the project that you just saw from us, because we could just put so much in there. Sometimes people just don't, you know, understand everything that we're putting on screen sometimes, you know, and it's great that, you know, you can still be there even after the award ceremony or even during the whatever, and speak to the crowd, and the crowd speak to you. So anyway, there's going to be a lot of intermingling like that. I want to give everyone their time, their due, and their time of 15 minutes of fame. I mean, that's what it's all about, getting yourself out there. So that's going to be big on me. So that's coming. So I can't wait for that. So here we go. Another thing is I'm going to glaze over the phenomenal movie, The Joker, that I saw. And I guess you heard people are loving it. People are, some people are not. But for the most part, people are loving it. They're loving where it went. Some people even ask, you know, is it that good, or is it that violent or whatever? And I'll tell you right now, maybe I said it before in my my previous vlog, but to tell you the truth, it wasn't really much violence in there. I think it's just the nature of the movie and how it was shot, and the pace that it goes, and how it shows certain scenes, how it's just very, you know, sometimes what makes a scene very realistic is how flat you can make it. The flatter you can make a scene, the more empty, I guess you could say, you can make a scene, the way I would say it, is the more, it's a scarier and more realistic it looks like. Example, you know, say if you have a shot and someone's just kind of doing their scene, and next thing you know, and the camera doesn't move, you're just doing a scene, and maybe it's in a medium shot, and you see everything around the characters, you know, and everyone's just talking, and all of a sudden maybe something violent happens and the camera never moves, and everything happens. Blood comes out, maybe the person's, you know, head opens or whatever, or the person flies back, or, you know, people start moving around and going crazy, whatever. That flat moment, and the camera's just kind of following you along and never cutting away, not to try to kind of keep a fast pace. You want that moment to be the pace. that live moment will give you the speed it needs. And that's when I say like a flat moment where nothing is cutting, intercutting, or anything. You're just sitting there like you're an audience member, you know, in a show, and you're just looking at it and it's happening real life, and you just kind of following the person along, you know, what's happening. That flat moment, it will makes it very realistic. And I think, you know, you have moments like that in the movie, and I think that's what they're talking about. People may take it too real or maybe getting too inspired, which is ridiculous. But they've been trying that argument for umpteen years for so many movies. And I'm like, listen, man, this doesn't really have any killing. I mean, you have a few, but I mean, it's not even maybe the nature of it, but still, there's other movies that are way more violent, much more scary than this, much scarier than this. And it's just about a man going through, you know, this moment, these days, to get him to where he's going to pretty much become. And it's just it's a really good slow burn, you know. And one thing, and then two, I didn't mention in my other blog was, to me, this is an actor's class. I mean, there's some movies that you could say, if I'm an actor, that just the performance alone is freaking incredible. You know what I mean? That I just love watching the person perform. I just like watching everyone perform. It's just such in your face. It's as if they're right in front of you or sitting on your lap doing the role, and you're just sitting there and all like, man, this is just wow. You know, I mean, it's just a wow thing. And this movie here, I would say, if you're an actor, I would say this is one of those rare movies that inspire you. If you have any doubt to be an actor, if you lost any type of inspiration to continue on being an actor, I think you need to see this, and I think you'll get a jolt again. And when you see the work that Joaquin did for this role, I mean, it's just so heavy. You know, it just makes you feel like he's in pain. I mean, it just feels painful through the whole thing. Not a bad pain. It's just that the work behind it, first of all, the arc of the story is a nice slow arc. It's an arc, but it just kind of slowly rises. It's not fast. It's not, but everything moves. You know what I mean? It's like a slow rise, but it moves. It keeps going. There's never a slow mo where you're sitting there breathing like, oh, come on, let's get it going. It's never like that. It's constantly moving. But it's just that tick, 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 tick. You know, like death by a thousand cuts. That's how this is. It's just kind of like tip, 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 and it keeps going. And you know there's so much left. You're like, wow, you know, how can he keep this up? And where did he go? And then, you know, internally, you know, you see what he's trying to convey, and it flies right out of him. He doesn't say a word sometime, and it just flies right out of him. So, like I said, if you're an actor, you're someone who just maybe like so lost inspiration, or you're just somebody who just wants to see a really good performance, you know, that you haven't seen in a long time, someone just kind of brings the pain. This is the movie. Joaquin brings the pain. And I tell people too, you know, Joaquin is not like this is the first time. I mean, Joaquin is one of our best actors we have in Hollywood. But I tell you what, you want to see something close to the Joker? You want to see something that I already knew that he was going to kill it as a Joker? Forget all the movies he did before. You know, the Joker, not all of them, a few of them. Let's go back to the late 90s when he did Gladiator. When he was in Gladiator, I want to say this again. I said it once before, but I'm going to repeat myself on this one. Once he did the Gladiator and he played, I forget the role that he played, what his character's name, but I know the role he played, you know, the Emperor, right? The Wicked Emperor. But when you see the crazy, you know, that he exemplified in that show, I'm not worried about Kurt Russell. To me, Kurt Russell didn't deserve the Oscar. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just me. Call it sacrilege, but to me, when I looked at it, Joaquin deserved that Oscar in Gladiator, not Russell Crowe. That wasn't an Oscar-winning performance for Russell at all for me. That was just him being him. He wasn't going anywhere. There was no like deep dive anywhere. You know what I mean? That was just being him. Now, when you look at Joaquin in Gladiator, go and see Gladiator one more time. Go see Gladiator, not for Russell. Go see Joaquin in Gladiator. And when you see that, you'll see the Joker. You're like, man, he was Joker way before he was doing this. I mean, he just was it. I mean, just that, you know, that way. I mean, just being that complex of a character, to play that, to show that, you know, without saying many words, it's all in your face and the feeling and just your movement of your body. It's just explaining everything to you without saying a word. He did that in Gladiator. So when you see the Joker, you're going to see that plus some. So that is why everybody is praising him. I think, in my opinion, Joaquin has to get nominated. He has to get nominated. And if damn near he should win the bitch. He really should. I mean, I don't know any other movie now this year that has given a performance like he has in Joker. I mean, I don't see where. I didn't see every movie, don't get me wrong, but I'm looking at the movies that have been out so far this year, and I don't see anyone deep diving like that. I do not see anyone getting deep like that. No. They just kind of scratching the surface, reading the lines, moving along, doing what they got to do. But this here, Joaquin was like, here's the line, and I need to go here. I need to go down here. I need to get in underneath it. You know, I need to go where the ink was made. I need to go back in the earth, you know, and pull the ink from the ground. You know what I mean? That's how far I want to get into this bitch. You know what I mean? I mean, he's not just reading the lines and shit. I mean, he's part of it. I mean, he just got into it so much. Call it corny for what I'm saying, but you know what? It feels like that. I mean, when you see a performance that way, it's amazing. It really is amazing. There's not many movies out in history, really. I mean, you think about it, you got a nice amount of movies, but there's only very few movies where people deep dive into shit to a point where you like, wow, that's another level. And you know what? The Joker's another level. So if you have any doubts about seeing the Joker, if you have any doubts that whether or not Joaquin was good to play the Joker, you need to go see it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, you'll hear a lot of talk, of course, too, saying, well, was he like, Heath Ledger? And I have to say, it's different. You can compare Heath Ledger and him, you know, since they're so close, you know, and of course, Heath is known as being the best who played Joker, right? And well-deserved. But you can't really compare. I mean, you really can't compare. It's a different world that they're in for both of them. So you really can't compare. They both hit it at the park for their Joker in their world. So you really can't compare. It's like LeBron and Magic. I mean, you really can't compare. You know what I mean? People want to compare LeBron and Magic, you know, LeBron James and Magic Johnson and stuff, because they got similar ways, but they were just different. I mean, you really can't. I mean, in fact, people say you can compare those. To me, you really can't. You can say LeBron and Jordan. All right, you want to do that? LeBron and Jordan. You see LeBron and Jordan, they're both great, both Hall of Famers. They both changed the game in their time, but they're just different. I mean, they're just different. They're both great. They're right there. They're side by side. It's just that they were just different, but they're the best in their time or what they did. So it's the same thing with Heath and Joaquin. You know, I have to agree with one of the other reviews where they said if you switch those guys in the universes, they won't work on each other's universe. It just won't work if they were to switch. You know, if Joaquin went to Dark Knight and Heath went to Joker, the way they portray those characters is won't work. In you know, you can't exchange those worlds. It won't work. So it's the same thing with this. So I wouldn't really compare those guys. You just have to say, wow, okay, Joaquin hit it at the park. That was masterful. The same way that Heath, when he did in Dark Knight, was masterful. And you know, and like I said, this one, I think, to me, will change. I think this movie has changed how you tell an origin story for anybody. I mean, we understand this is a comic book, right? We understand it's a comic book character that we grew up for over 50 years. We understand this. But the way it was shot, the way it was written, how deep the character went into, what the actor went into the character, and how the movie just kept that spotlight on the character, the whole thing. You just went through this ride with the character almost to every single scene. It was all about them, I think has changed the game. And it's very hard and it's very rare that any movie is going to change the game for anything, when it comes to telling a story. It's the hardest thing in the world. It's the hardest thing in the world. And every now and then, rarely, you're going to get a movie that just changes the way you tell a story. And I really think Joker changed the way you tell an origin story. Now, most people say this looks like Taxi Driver. Yes, in a way it did, but Taxi Driver changed it then. I mean, Scorsese changed the way he did things then. I mean, how deep he went into, how crazy he went into it. How the city, the environment was a character itself. The devices that the character used was a character itself. It wasn't just a car they drove or just a knife that they used or a gun that they used, whatever. Like those tangible objects that they held or maneuvered in the plot and like in the show were characters. So, and this too, when you see the Joker, it's the same way. But it looked like it took like what Taxi Driver did, all the older ones did, and just filled the holes and just kind of put a little more sauce on it. You know what I mean? So that's how I think. I mean, so I would say go ahead and check it out. It's, we won't be disappointed. And I really hope that Joaquin comes out with another one. Joaquin right now is in a situation that Johnny Depp was when he did Pirates. Joaquin did a lot of movies that pretty much similar to what Johnny Depp did for many years. Character-driven films, damn near independent films. They love that, because they have the control, they have the time. There's a lot of perks when you do independent or low-budget film. It gives you a lot of freedom. This right now, Joaquin's in the same place that that Johnny was like 8 years ago, with Pirates. He had to do something to not only pay the bills, but to take him just one time to another level. And this one did it. And right now, Johnny Depp is probably looking at Joaquin and saying, I remember that. Yeah, I remember those days. I just wanted to kind of do independent, but I needed to pay the bills. And I say I try this one kind of commercial thing and see what happens. And next thing you know, boom, you're known for that for the rest of your life. And I think Joaquin right now, knowing that he does another one, he's going to be in a big payday, huge payday. He knows if he does another one, he's going to have the largest payday in his career ever. So I think that's one of those things that inspire him. You see him running across all social media. Joaquin is leaving it open for a sequel. Well, damn yeah. Why not? First of all, the character is deep, has a lot of tentacles. It's a huge story. You know where it eventually gets to and everything else, but still has a huge arc left to tell. And also that check is going to look pretty sweet too. And I'm not sure how much he made on this one, but I bet you he does a sequel. We're talking about at least 27 million. I mean, something like that. I mean, he's going to get a fucking payday. So I guess he's looking at that too. Like, yo, listen, if we can get one that's good that I really like or whatever, trust me, everyone eating in my family for the next 100 years or more. Everyone eating. Everyone's good. So, yeah. So I'm more likely, guys, I think you're going to see Joaquin come back for those reasons. The big payday. And trying to one time. He can always go back to independent. He can always go back down if he needs to and do his thing. But in a way, this movie is kind of independent. It kind of gives him that same freedom while being a commercially successful actor and a commercial character. So he pretty much can eat his cake. He can have his cake and eat it too with this film. So I think he's thinking of it hard. He's probably already made his decision. Give me the money. Let me hold that freedom that I had on this one, and we can dance, baby. We can go out. We can go into town with this one, and I think that's what's going to happen with him. kind of inspires me to do something kind of deep like this. Although I do want to do that. I want to do a mixture of it, subject matters, but that's something else. But yeah, I think that's it. So that's what I want to say about that. And then the last thing I have here is open thoughts, right? Open thoughts. What do I want to talk about? I don't know. Tell me. I really don't have anything I want to say just yet. Maybe tomorrow night or whatever. Maybe I do. What I'm thinking about it now is probably, I don't know. It's at that time. I'll get back to you guys. Right. Love you all. And I'll speak to you guys another time. And again, thank you everyone for coming to my page on Facebook. Also, too, I'm gonna be dropping this into YouTube, so I'm gonna have a YouTube page under look under my name, Barry Gaines. I'm in there. Also, A World of Worlds. You're gonna see my page. So I'm going to hit this up in YouTube as well, so you can start following me there. So I'm dropping all these videos into YouTube and everything. So. And also, too, keep an eye out. Things will be changing big time because I have that film festival that I'm preparing for. So I'll be going out everywhere. You're going to see all kinds of videos. You're going to see kind of meetings. You're going to see all kinds of crazy, weird, not weird, just a diary, a video diary of me just going through this process, outside, inside, meeting people, whatever. I'm going to start doing that as I go along. So it's going to be really different. So I just won't be sitting in my office like I have been for a while in my chair, which is nice and comfy, you know what I mean? This time I'm going to be out and about. You're going to see some things, and you're going to see the process. The same way you saw the process with this, trying to get all this together, from the beginning a couple years ago. And if you follow me there, when I first started, I just had an idea. Then I had people, and then we had rehearsals, and then we did our first, film and completed, and then went to the film festival and got nominated, and then we did some more, and then it went on and on and on, and we got nominated, and we won, and then we got the deal on Amazon, and now we're going to Google Play, and then we're going to be in iTunes soon, and so right now everything is rolling along. The posters were made, people have left, new people have come on board. So this whole life, this whole transition, this whole production road has been full, and it's going to keep going, and it's going to get bigger. It's going to get more interesting, and it's going to get better, and it's going to get more exciting, and it's just going to be a brilliant time to be alive. I'm going to guarantee you that it's going to be a brilliant time to be alive, to be around A World of Worlds, Gaines Entertainment. I'm telling you, it's coming, and we're going to do things differently. We are the unicorns, I always say, because we do think differently. Everyone here that I deal with is unicorn. People know what they're doing. You speak to them, they sound different, they talk different, they do things, and they're all professional and freaking unicorns, man. It's like these guys are incredible, and I'm proud of all of them, and we're just going to keep this train running. So anyway, love you all, and I will speak to you guys later on. All right. And again, don't have no doubt, see Joker. And also check out my movie on Amazon Prime. Just look my name up, Barry Gaines, and you'll see A World of Worlds. Pick it up, check it out. Season 2 is now being filmed and will be online by next year. Right? Love you all. Peace.